Hey, thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Robert Newman. I'm probably one of the country's most experienced real estate online marketing consultants that you will ever run across their content. I've been doing it for 13 years, and tonight we're going to review Follow Up Boss. I've got actual access to a Follow Up Boss account. This is going to be a deep dive technical tutorial where I'm going to go through each piece of functionality item by item so that you know exactly what Follow Up Boss does. But before I do that, we're going to start off with some basics. Number one, I'm making the assumption that you know what Follow Up Boss is. Now, Follow Up Boss is a real estate specific CRM. And customer record management systems are very confusing inside the real estate space, as I'm sure most of you have known. Just in the process of researching for this video and the article that I'm going to write about Follow Up Boss, I've come across at least 28 CRMs, and I can think of another 10 or 15 right off the top of my head. Because a lot of services, such as Boomtown and CR Interactive, and they build CRMs into their core offering. Same thing with real estate webmasters, and even smaller web development companies like Z57. And the list is too big. It really is. There's, like, all of you who are watching this are probably going, oh, there's a million real estate CRMs. Am I going to get into reviewing real estate CRMs as a whole? I may do one post that covers like the top 5 or 6. And that's it. I'm not going to spend my time going over real estate CRMs, and I'll tell you why. They all, to some degree or another, do mostly the same thing, with each CRM coming up with a handful of functionality that is slightly different than the other CRMs. You also have very big CRMs such as Salesforce, HubSpot, Agile, that are very customizable and adaptable, and depending upon your level of expertise, you might use one of those. Like if I was a real estate agent, I would use HubSpot, but I am literally a master level user of these kinds of systems. And I could integrate, and HubSpot, the only reason I would use HubSpot is because it integrates seamlessly with WordPress. And so it's the best CRM if you're using WordPress and you're not necessarily in real estate. Now, Follow Up Boss, before I even get into the rest of the review, is the best in class. You're going to hear me saying over and over and over again that Follow Up Boss is the best at this or the best at that. Now, I have reviewed most of the CRMs, and I don't just mean review. I mean, I have access to them right now. I have access to Bold Leads. I have access to Sync. I have access to KV Core, and the list goes on and on and on. And none of them comes close to Follow Up Boss. There are specific CRMs inside other services that may do a slightly better job at a small handful of things. Now, full transparency, my marketing agency uses Follow Up Boss. We integrate into it. And hold on, I'm going to pause this for a second. But this is not a sales pitch. I don't have an affiliate agreement with Follow Up Boss. If you review some of my other content, I feel like you'll quickly get a feel for my temperament, which is just an honest review of features and functionality. We just got lucky as a marketing agency that the best CRM that's out there literally plugs into a ton of IDX websites. As a matter of fact, Follow Up Boss accepts leads with what's called a two-way integration from most of the major companies that are out there, like CR Interactive and Boomtown and like all those lead generating companies, YLOPO. Most people that really understand CRMs end up having to consider Follow Up Boss, and I will show you why in this review. Now, this preamble is probably the longest part of, the most dragged out part of this review, because we get into Follow Up Boss, and here's the first thing that is best in class. Okay, we go over to Admin. All right, so here we are in Admin. And now some of this is going to be blurred out because I'm going to keep my clients' names private. But here's the amazing thing about each one of these fields. So you have lead flow, groups, action plan, email, text templates, team, import, custom fields, billing stages, tags, and a handful more, right? Seems confusing. Look over here on the right, all right? How lead flows works, all right? There's literally one of the things that Follow Up Boss is best in class for. In preparation for doing these reviews, it usually takes me, like, I'll list hours and people will go, oh my God, I can't believe that he spent that much time. Because oftentimes these CRMs are confusing, information is in different places. Many of these companies that build these tools, like Sierra Interactive, charge you extra money so that you can use their tool correctly because they understand when you walk into it, it's going to be very hard to learn. It took me about 30, maybe 40 minutes. Not 30 or 40 hours, 30 or 40 minutes, okay? And I'm going to summarize that 30 or 40 minutes for you. Lead flows is one of the most exciting parts of Follow Up Boss, or maybe I'm slightly over exaggerating. But in lead flows, so Follow Up Boss is an incredible tool because what it does is it can take 9 or different sources of leads and organize them seamlessly in one place for you. So this particular thing, which again may be blurred out, but I promise you I'm not making this up, just in the last 4 leads that this particular customer has generated, you have one from IDX Broker, which is the website that I manage for them. You have one from YLOPO, you have one from Realtor.com, you have one from Agent Marketing, and you have one from Facebook. So it's 5 different sources in just their last like couple days, okay? What you do is you can assign an agent, it's 1 click. You can assign a lender, it's 1 click. It takes about 2 minutes how to use the feature. And you can also assign what's called an action plan, which is a funnel, which is a drip. The system already comes with a number of them pre-built in, so all you have to do, and by the way, learning what those funnels are, again, takes 5 minutes. You just find out where they are. You probably would have to spend a couple of hours if you wanted to open up each funnel and make sure that you understand what they were saying. But if you didn't want to do that, this system is ready to go 5 minutes after you unwrap it from the box, which makes it from purchase to implementation, it makes it the fastest CRM that I've looked at. It also makes it the fastest. These little videos over here make it the far and the easiest CRM to understand, beating even Bold Leads, which was my previous favorite built-in CRM, just because this is more complete. It's a more complete system, as I'll explain. So groups. Groups is where you can get exciting, like you can get into groups and simply distribute leads based on lead type. You can distribute them based on, like, let's say that you're a bigger broker and you have like an elite team of agents. You basically just create a group. And you would take a number of people in a seat or a lead type, and those leads go to that group. Once again, how groups work is like a 2-minute video. So once again, it's just super easy functionality, and that's that. Now this screen, I'm not going to really blur out. I have everybody's permission to use this screen. So one of the companies that I'm not, like, I have no permanent arrangement with them, but one of the companies that I've been talking to and discussing a review with and interacting with them on the basis of doing a review is YLOPO, and they gave me permission to use their name and use their stuff in terms of building up to a YLOPO review, because YLOPO also uses Follow Up Boss, and I am doing this Follow Up Boss review in preparatory to doing a deeper YLOPO review. So here you go. So action plans, all right? So there's 28 action plans in this account. You label them according to what the action plan does. So this is a buyer 388-day plan. Now this is literally emails and text messages that go out in an automated way to your user. So YLOPO is a company that builds automated action plans. So do we here at InboundREM. We build automated action plans for you. We also use the action plans that are part of Follow Up Boss, because they're pretty good. But every time you want to start customizing, like let's say you are a second home market, okay, and there's plenty of those out there. well, then some of these plans probably aren't quite for you. You're going to want to talk about investment maybe, or destination sites, or let's say you're a destination realtor like my Cabo San Lucas client. You're definitely going to want to adjust some of these templates to take into account that you're a destination market. However, if you have a plan that is already here that has 88 emails as an example, or something like that, that makes your work to do these probably one night. And now you have an automated email marketing text messaging campaign that will go on for a year without you ever having to do anything. And by the way, learning how to use action plans is here. Now, building an action plan from start to finish, and if you did 388, like, you know, if it had 88 steps as an example, and by that could take a while. You can also implement tasks into action plans. So if you want to assign tasks to a real estate agent so that you're cycling in calls, like you must call this lead day 1, day 4, day 6, day 8, and you create tasks and reminders inside your action plan. But once that action plan is there, if you have somebody who has a seat, every time that they got a lead assigned to them, the action plan can be assigned to them as well, and bang, in terms of what you expect as a management team is implemented inside of this action plan, and the agent knows that the emails and the text messages are going out to their prospective client, and their job is to initiate the physical calls. Again, there's systems that work in a similar fashion, but in terms of learning them and bringing them from 0 to 100, there's nothing that you can do faster or that's easier to learn. Nothing that I've seen. So once again, this is top in class. Email templates inside Follow-Up Boss. This is probably the only thing inside this entire plan, this entire program, where I'm going to say, hey, you're still probably going to need like an automated email service of some kind. The templates in here are not outstanding. They're very simple. The thing that Follow-Up Boss does, which I'll have to cover in another section here, which is under integrations, which Follow-Up does very, very well, is they do integrations into services like BombBomb, which in turn increase engagement a tremendous amount. So if you had integrated BombBomb into this, now Follow-Up Boss is once again top in class, but there's an additional cost to kind of get it there. Other than that, you're going to have to use an email marketing system such as MailChimp or Robly and get like a really advanced kind of email system in there to increase engagement and track emails properly, because email marketing is still, when done right, 30 to 40% of a real estate agent or brokerage's results. So emails, I cannot emphasize enough, are still wildly powerful, if not even more powerful today than they have been in the past. So saying that this is kind of like an also-ran is a little bit painful, but guess what? In terms of what you're competing against, like Boomtown or Bold Leads or Sierra Interactive or Brevity or Agile or HubSpot, it's as good as most of them. HubSpot is slightly better, but only slightly on the email front. One thing that Follow-Up Boss does different than most other CRMs is they give you something called text templates. Now you add these templates inside your action plan. So you basically just have a template within like an action plan that has a text template in it. But in terms of the layout and how easy this is to use, once again, I've never seen anything better. There might be text specific, like Agent Legend and services like that are doing nothing but text marketing, and they probably all are a little bit better on the texting front. But if you're just looking for an all-in-one system and something that's easy to understand that allows you to create text templates in a heartbeat and then have them send out in an automated way, then Follow-Up Boss is the best that I've seen. I haven't seen anything easier to use than this. As a matter of fact, a lot of systems don't include texting at all. And the ones that do include texting, it's a very complicated way to access it. It's not as clean as this. The interface isn't as easy, and you sure as hell can't integrate it into action plans as easily as you can here. Team. I'm going to block out the names and the phone numbers here of this, so most of this is going to be blocked out, but there's going to be an add user button that you can see. And guys, again, as easy as it comes. You're adding new members to your team, which is how Follow-Up Boss works. So Follow-Up Boss is going to be good for a single user or many users. And before I forget, I kind of did this ass backwards, but I don't like spending a massive amount of time in editing videos because I don't have the time. So, what you're looking at here is the pricing as it is today in 2020. You probably just want to go to followupboss/pricing. As with most reviews like the one I'm doing, I'm going to do a spreadsheet where I'm going to dive deep on my blog post. So this video is, you're going to either watch it on YouTube, and you can watch it solo, but there will be a link in the description of the video that will connect into the blog post that this video is part of. And that's where I'm going to do a spreadsheet, and I'm going to finish up my research and figure out what the extras are. Because there's a lot of extras in here, like $39 a month for a user. Now, an interesting thing about FollowUpBoss is they lowered their prices, not raised them. They used to be $79 a month, and now they're $69 a month per user. So this site is perfectly affordable for a single user, and in connection to other CRMs of similar types, like LionDesk is about the same. LionDesk starts for less, but when you add in these features, it actually comes out to be identical, which is probably why FollowUpBoss lowered its pricing. And at the higher end, like $4.99, FollowUpBoss is literally half as much as the other really big real estate CRMs, like Commissions Inc., which carries a website with it, but is essentially just a real estate CRM. It's twice as hard to learn as this particular tool, at least twice as hard. It doesn't do as much as this particular tool, and it costs at minimum $1,000 a month. But the main difference is that it has a website, and you can send traffic into the website and generate leads. So, quote unquote, it is an all-in-one tool as opposed to being just a CRM. But most of the people that I know buy Sync for the website lead generation combo. What they don't understand about CRMs is that no matter who you're using, like this FollowUpBoss account, I'm logging into FollowUpBoss. The same thing with CR Interactive. When you're logging in, just because you see a login button on your website and you think, oh, it's an all-in-one enclosed system, guess what? I know technology really well. It's not. You're just getting logged into a database, just like HubSpot or KV Core or any of them. What does it matter? Like for those people that are out there that are like, I don't want to go to two places and log in two things. Guess what? You don't have to with FollowUpBoss. You could literally have 9 different things sent into FollowUpBoss and never once log into anything else other than FollowUpBoss. So, you would have one login, and there's some pros and cons to that, to be perfectly transparent about it. But they're very minor in comparison to most other systems. Import. Again, the importing thing is actually a little long for these videos. Believe it or not, it's one of the longest videos because importing leads has a lot to do with fields and things like that. But guess what? FollowUpBoss even tells you what fields you can and cannot add. They give you a great 2-minute and 39-second video talking about what you can and can't import, which once again cuts down the confusion and the time when you're ready to integrate this CRM from other CRMs. So let's say you're reviewing this and you're actually a really experienced broker who's got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 agents, whatever it is, and you're thinking to yourself that maybe you want to move over to FollowUpBoss. Well, we both know that is a huge effort. That's a huge, huge task. And you're worried about the 10 or 15 or 25,000 names that you've got. And you're wondering how clean of an import is it going to be, and are you going to lose some of that data? I'm here to tell you that it's very likely that you probably won't lose most of your data, that the import will be very, very clean, that it does allow for a lot of custom fields, including things like pet's name, age of client, birthday, which once again makes FollowUpBoss leader in class. A lot of places limit your import, and I'm sure for those of you that have researched what you're going to get into a CRM, you've discovered that you lose a lot of your data, and it probably, like especially for those of you who are old school and are on things like Outlook and other CRMs like that, and where you've got all this customer information, not all of that data can you get in here, but a lot of it can. If you have a huge notes section, you might lose some of those notes when you're importing them from one place to the next. I don't know exactly what the limitations are. If any of you really have that kind of in-depth question, you can email me, and I'll actually go out and dig up the answer for you because I'm kind of curious to know what it is. Custom fields. You can see here all an example of custom fields, okay? These are all the ones that they already have integrated into the system. average price point, total listings viewed, time frame. And once this data is in here, guess what? Follow Up Boss automatically tracks it for you. There are CRMs that have as robust of a custom fields kind of like, they're not going to call it this though. It's not going to be as easy to understand as this is. You can see here how many people have been assigned a custom field and then used a custom field in here, which is definitely something that other people don't have. So think of this as a filter with you already understanding how many people are using the filter. All right. Billing, I'm going to skip that. Stages. You can see here, just simple. And there's, again, every single one of these, there's a video tutorial. How stages work. Okay, there's a 30-second video.
This is the stages.
Okay. On every single feature. Tags. Okay. Now this tags, as you can see, as this client is using it, is literally showing you, and you can tag like contact forms. This right here is a master list of all the tags that are being used, okay? And auto tagging is taking some of this data, such as the zip code, and then automatically tagging it in that lead. So if I wanted to do leads by zip code 30040, I click this tag, and guess what? It's automatically filtered. So once you've been using Follow Up Boss for a little while, if you're interested in sorting your leads, okay, or assigning your leads, this tagging feature, which is a really advanced way of calling it filtering, except that it's automated and that it does a lot of it for you. Now, not all of it's automated. You have to set up some of it yourself, but things like zip codes is automated. So it automatically takes the zip code and creates a filter for you called a tag, and then creates this list. And it does the same thing with like your brokerage name. So if you switch brokerages, you've got those leads automatically tagged. So every time you do, or lead source, those are automatically tagged. So everything is automatically tagged. You automatically have like a whole bunch of different filters done for you. And there's nobody else that makes filtering your leads or understanding your leads or where they're coming or sorting them is easy or as good as Follow Up Boss, in my opinion. This is all in my opinion, but again, I'm having the pleasure of literally looking at the tool that I feel like is top in class. I've looked at a lot of tools. Nobody does it as well as these guys. So very similar to most CRMs of this type. So guys, I'm logged in as a particular agent right now. So I'm seeing an agent view. Okay, there's an admin view, there's agent views, and I'm showing you all an agent view. So in this particular agent view, which I probably won't blur this out, but I'll blur out all the contact information. But guys, this works the same way. For those of you that have used CRMs, this works like the same as bold leads, the same as most of the really good systems out there work you have your inbox, so there's all your conversations that are basically listed by the last time they communicated with you. So you have this big funnel system that's constantly outbound communicating for you. So what happens when somebody responds? That comes into your inbox, and now you know that you need to respond back to those people. You have over here, you've got your recent conversations, and again, I might blur it out. You have the total thread of conversations going on here. You can click into the lead. I'm in the lead already, sorry. You can switch it. This is a tax question, which by the way was generated through one of our blog posts. So I'm excited. Well, actually, I'll show everybody. This is people. Again, most of this is going to be blurred out, but the reason I do people is that once again, people, how many people have been communicated with or added to the system? 12,151 up here. You have YLOPO priority leads, which is a designation that these guys are going to click, like the users of the system are going to click, but it's a filter that you create at the top. And once again, this is all stuff, it's just called a list, and it was covered in one of the tutorials. Tasks are what you create manually. A calendar you add to manually. Deals is tracking. So when you're doing a call or calls with somebody, literally you've got another video here that will show you how videos works, but essentially you just tag it. You tag it that it's turning into a deal, and then it tracks revenue and tracks the process for you. So buyer contract, offer, pending, closed. This client isn't tracking buyer contract, offer, pending, because it's just a small team, so they all feel like they know what they're doing. You've got buyers and sellers that both like work the same way. All right, and then you have deal reporting, current deals. Now, deal reporting, which the reason I'm showing it to you is, and once again, some of these numbers are going to be blurred out. Actually, maybe I don't have to blur them out. They're just numbers, so probably not. But the names of the clients at the bottom will be blurred out. But guess what? This is showing you how much has been generated by all sources. And then you have really cool features in here. You can, this client has not really set this up, but it's called marketing. So you would just say platform, and you could have a big platform in here. Instead, this particular client is focused on lead sources. This is where they're tracking, okay? And all of these lead sources, unspecified, which is probably me for, so my company does SEO, organic, inbound leads off really like robust website experiences. And so I'm coming in, most of my leads are coming in through their contact form, which is unspecified, or IDX Broker, which is IDX related leads. You have agent marketing, so all these different notes here of all these different lead sources. So IDX Broker, you can see 36 in the last 30 days, Realtor.com 5, and then way down here you're going to have YLOPO at 51. And of course, I have to say this, but not all leads are created equal. Usually my leads are closing at 300 to 400% better than most social leads or low quality leads that are being generated off other sources. So I'm particularly proud of this particular account. And obviously this is why they're letting me use this platform, is because we've done a good job for them. So properties, you can see how many properties and how many inquiries there are, since this is one site located in a particular area, which I'm sure you've all figured out is Atlanta. It's a little bit useless because the thumbnails don't work, but if you drill down, like really got in close, all of a sudden it becomes more usable. Okay, and then you can see how many different inquiries have happened over different properties. But as you can also see, there isn't multiple inquiries coming in on multiple properties, but it is an interesting feature. And then last but not least, you got your leaderboard. Once again, I'm going to blur out the names of the clients, but the leaderboard is how many emails, it's activity. So if you had 15, 20 agents, it'd be 15 or 20 agents on your leaderboard. And this is a super, super, super easy tool for a sales lead or sales manager to manage. I suspect that at really high levels, like 25, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 200 agents, that maybe Follow Up Boss you'd probably have to have some type of education in terms of how to use this tool correctly for that many agents. But I also know that Follow Up Boss has an amazing team. The reviews, again, for CRMs are some of the best that are out there, like pretty much all 4.5 stars and above. So Follow Up Boss is the only reason that some of you may not have heard Follow Up Boss is that it is a tool that plugs into other things. That's the one closing thought. Follow Up Boss is a CRM only. It's not a website combo. They partner up with a lot of different companies. The list is over 200 plus. Okay? They even partner up with other lead providers that then turn around and use Follow Up Boss for all the reasons that I've mentioned. So there's countless names on here. Curator, YLOPO, Facebook, Homes.com, HomeLight, Fast Expert, Real Geeks. The list goes on and on and on. And that's another thought to close out with you. So you have Follow Up Boss in comparison to other like enclosed system CRMs, such as Boomtown. Okay, probably the most popular closed environment. And Boomtown does not allow what are called two-way integrations, or if they do, they allow them very reluctantly and very rarely. Now, a two-way integration is what allows you to get really incredible data, such as, I'll show you what I mean. So viewed this property, like YLOPO, this YLOPO lead, okay, is viewed this property for $275K, all right? And when we drill into the lead, we can see that there's activity 10 hours ago, that it viewed these properties and did this like in these zip codes in this price range. This functionality is literally as good as anything that you're going to find on Boomtown or any of these other enclosed systems, because their sales pitch, their real hardcore sales pitch, and the one thing that some of, like, only 2 or 3 systems even have this at all, which is where you can see how many different properties somebody's looked at, how many times they come back to the site. Most notably of all the real estate websites out there, the company that tracks and makes that data easiest to see is Sierra Interactive. And the value of that data, though, is questionable, and Follow Up Boss, when they say they're doing a two-way integration, it's saying that they're going to let you transfer stuff from your website into their CRM, like how many properties has somebody viewed, and what were those properties, and when did they view them. The one thing they don't track is maybe how long or how many views came to that particular property. I would question whether or not, like, maybe one salesperson out of every 100 would use how many times somebody's looked at particular properties as some type of closing tool, like call somebody up and say, hey, you've looked at this thing 900 times. Isn't it time to buy it? Or send a clever email that says, I know you've been looking at this property forever. I don't think that there's very many salespeople that have the kind of time to go out and create that kind of strategy using these internet leads and then follow up on it like that. Maybe a very, very small handful of top brokers that have like a full telemarketing team, and maybe some of those telemarketers get pretty clever about the way that they get in there and they set appointments. But to be honest with you, as a guy that's also run call centers, I don't think so. That would be my guess. So the value of these integrated features that are going to be pitched to you as a real estate agent or broker, I'm not sure that they're very, very good, and you're going to spend a huge amount of money on them, and you're going to get locked into contracts. The advantage of Follow Up Boss is that you can integrate this system into other lead sources, 100 of them if you want. You can have your own real estate website that you own, and as a professional and a marketer, and by the way, a guy who owns a service company and provides these services and sells websites and SEO services, I got to tell you, when I'm talking to my small and rapidly growing teams who are focused on growth, especially rapid growth, well, SEO is a long-term strategy. If you're building a destination site, your leads will be really high quality, and that is one way to grow your business. You should have 2 or 3 others as well. As you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you want to touch every single major channel that's out there, and there's a lot of them. There's Zillow and Realtor. Like, all these places have a huge amount of traffic, and in a perfect world, if you're a marketer like me, you want to be in all of them. It's not a matter of, like, when you're starting out, yeah, you got to talk about which one is the best. Which one do you start with? What's going to get you the best ROI for the moment? And then as you get past that hump and into the second and third tier of your business, where you're now doing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars in business and well beyond, then now what are you talking about? You're talking about being everywhere. You're talking about getting in front of everybody. And when you start having that conversation, there is no other tool, none that I know of, that does the job of Follow Up. It's why Follow Up Boss was created. It's for those small teams with dreams of being big, and for those big teams with dreams of getting bigger. That's what Follow Up Boss was designed for. All these guys that are building like Compass bought out Contactually, great. So all these Compass guys now have the Contactually CRM, which is a good one. It's a very good one. There's nothing wrong with it. However, Compass is going to lock down access to their CRM, and everything you upload into the CRM is going to be owned by Compass. You're literally signing away the rights to your data. Same thing with KW Command. I've got at least 5 relatively decent-sized brokers that are doing business with me that have a Follow Up Boss account, because Follow Up Boss doesn't have any interest in your data. They are not trying to compete against you. Upload all your stuff to KW Command, and guess what? KW owns your data. And if anything that the current information age has taught us, it's who owns the rights to the data is really, literally one of the most important questions that you should be asking yourself as an agent, a broker, a small team lead, whatever your role is. Anyway, I hope you found this review useful. I love doing them, but I love feedback also. So if you could do me a favor and give me a thumbs up or drop me a comment, or if I did not answer your questions, and I may not have, or if you want to have a conversation about the organic side or building your own website, because Follow Up Boss is definitely a tool where I kind of got to pitch my stuff, because I am not going to build a CRM. And why am I not going to build a CRM? Follow Up Boss has already done it all better. There's nothing I could think of that I can improve upon. The improvements I can make are on the website side, collecting the leads, getting better leads, stronger leads. That's all stuff that I can focus on. Follow Up Boss has already made a tool that's better than 99% of the ones out there. And the only people that I know that have a CRM that they swear by higher than Follow Up Boss are ones that have invested a few $100,000 and built their own. That's it. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed the review. See you on the next one.